Road trips are supposed to be peaceful escapes, but once the sun goes down, highways turn into miles of darkness, and the things hiding in that darkness aren't always human. Tonight, you'll hear 3 terrifying true road trip horror stories from people who barely lived to tell them. It was early June 2017. I was taking a trip with my 9-year-old son Tom to visit family in West Virginia. My AC wasn't working, the heat was brutal, and by hour 6, both of us were irritated and exhausted. We left late, so by 9 p.m., we were still on the interstate in complete darkness. Tom started complaining he needed the bathroom. Tension was already building, and the arguing didn't help. I saw a blue rest area sign and pulled off. The place was small, 2 bathrooms, vending machines, and 1 white pickup truck parked alone. Tom ran into the bathroom. I kept the car running. 1 minute later, the back door opened. I assumed it was Tom, so I stayed silent and pulled out of the rest area. That same white pickup truck pulled out too, right behind me. At first, I thought nothing of it, but he stayed close, too close. I changed lanes. He changed lanes. I sped up. He sped up. Then he began flashing his headlights aggressively. I pulled into the right lane. He did the same. I slowed down. So did he. He rolled down his window, shouting something I couldn't hear while pointing wildly at my car. He motioned for me to pull over. I had no idea what he wanted, but I told Tom to stay calm and prepared to floor it if he tried anything. I stopped on the shoulder.
That's not your kid.
Before I could process the words, my back right door slowly opened. I turned, and a full-grown man stepped out of my back seat. Not my son, not even close. He bolted into the woods without a single word. I jumped out screaming, but he was gone, swallowed by the darkness between the trees. The man from the pickup yelled, "Your son never came out! That guy did!" I spun my car around and sped back to the rest area. Tom was standing outside the bathroom, confused. He said he hadn't seen anyone else go inside. The pickup driver waited with us until Tom was in the car. Then he told me he saw a tall man crouching near the back of my car when Tom ran inside. That man must have slipped into the rear seat the second Tom left the door unlocked. I never saw his face, never heard him breathe, never knew what he planned to do, and I still don't know how long he sat behind me before the pickup driver noticed. My girlfriend and I were on a 10-hour drive back home from California. Everything was fine until midnight, when we stopped for Wendy's and got back on the freeway. I was eating while driving when it suddenly started raining, hard. My girlfriend told me to pull over. The moment I did, the sky opened up. We could barely hear each other over the downpour. Then, a loud, sharp bang hit my window. I looked left. A face was pressed against the glass. A woman, soaked, pale, hair plastered to her face, just staring. My girlfriend screamed. I cracked the door open and yelled over the rain. The woman begged us for a ride. She looked desperate and freezing, so I told her to get in the back seat. But once she sat down, something felt wrong. Her breathing was too slow, her posture too stiff, and her eyes were locked on the back of my head the entire time. I asked where she was going. She didn't answer. I turned around slowly. She was still staring, blank, expressionless, like someone who hadn't blinked in minutes. I said I'd drop her off in the next town. That's when she screamed, a blood-curdling, animalistic shriek. Before I could react, her hands wrapped around my throat from behind and pulled me back. My girlfriend slashed at her face with her nails, making her release me. I slammed the brakes. The woman kept screaming, first in rage, then in pain. I threw open the rear door and dragged her out into the rain. She dropped to her knees, clutching her face, begging,
"Please, please, please."
I slammed the door, locked the car, and drove. She chased after us for a few seconds, pounding on the rear window with both fists before fading into the night behind us. My girlfriend called the police immediately. They told us they'd send someone, but their tone made it clear. They'd had calls about a woman wandering the freeway before. We didn't stop again. The rest of the ride home was in silence. I still see her face sometimes. I wish I didn't.
This happened in 2010. I was driving my Ford F-150 from Pennsylvania to rural Georgia, 14 hours in one day. I was exhausted by the final stretch. By 11:30 p.m., my GPS directed me off the highway onto dark, empty back roads. Heavy forest on both sides. No houses, no streetlights, nothing. I was going about 55 when 4 shiny objects appeared ahead. I hit the brakes hard, traffic drums. Behind them, a police-style spike trap. No police in sight, no cars, just a spike strip in the middle of nowhere. I got out with my baseball bat, confused. Then a voice echoed from the woods.
Help! Somebody help!
I stood still. The voice was close, but the woods were pitch black. I yelled, asking what was wrong. No reply. I walked to the edge of the trees and scanned the branches illuminated by my truck's lights. That's when I saw him. A man crouched behind bushes, staring directly at me. Unmoving. I walked calmly back to my truck. As soon as I shut the door, 2 new silhouettes emerged from the trees, walking toward me. Slowly, deliberately. I floored the gas, veered into the dirt on the right side of the road, and drove around the spike trap. In the rearview mirror, 3 figures stood around the traffic drums, watching me escape. Then the trees swallowed them. I didn't breathe normally for 10 minutes, but the nightmare wasn't over. I reached a small, empty town with abandoned buildings. As I drove, I spotted another set of old traffic drums. I went around them. Then I checked my mirror. A figure stood at the tree line, perfectly still, facing me. I sped up fast. When I finally reached my cousin's house, I heard branches cracking in the woods behind the property. My cousin and I found fresh human footprints leading back to the road. Later that night, my phone vibrated. My GPS app was open, by itself. It showed my location, and a single blinking waypoint, deep inside the forest where the trap had been set. I erased the app, powered off the phone, and never used that route again.
Dark highways, empty rest areas, rain-soaked roads, forests stretching for miles. Most people will drive them without ever knowing who or what might be watching from the shadows. But for the people in tonight's stories, they learned the truth the hard way. And they were lucky, because some road trip stories never reach the destination.